You guys?
I'm a surrogate for my two best friends.
That's really cool. I could never do that.
Oh, people say that all the time. And I'm like, no, I think you could.
So lovely to see your beautiful faces. Congratulations. Jeremy, Jasmine, this film blew me away.
So much.
How are you both? How's lockdown been? I'll go to you, Jasmine, first. How's it been?
I mean, New York's opening up, so, it's hot, and like people say, we outside, so,
By the way,
still wearing masks, but,
your Wi-Fi, by the way, looks like you've got some satellites or something going on, because it's the clearest Zoom I've ever had with somebody, so this is awesome.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Jeremy, how about you? How's life been?
Good. I'm in London. I'm quarantining. I just recently got my call of the day from the NHS. I'm in Clerkenwell. I'm on day 2, and I'm thrilled to be here.
What are you doing here?
I'm here for the opening of the film. This was the first chance for me to see it in a theater with an audience.
Do you know how beautiful that is to imagine? That is so beautiful.
I love it here. I love the theater and the food. I've already gotten I got delivery from Tyebs last night. So
I love it.
Loving it so far.
Jasmine, you're missing out. Like, clearly the budget only went for Jeremy to come over while you're in New York City.
Just told us the good news. Mazel tov. Hey, how's Nate?
Jess is only attracted to emotionally unavailable men. If it's a girl, we were thinking of calling her Sarah.
What do you think?
This film absolutely made me think about the good and the bad side of my own psyche. It's very self-reflective. For you, first of all, what made you want to make this? Because it's such a complicated, beautiful story, but I can imagine this is difficult to write and then to direct.
Thanks. Well, I'm thrilled to hear that. That's the intention. I moved to New York I went to NYU for uni. I moved when I was 18, and I was expecting kind of this progressive paradise, and found a place that fails to be in a lot of ways. I'm really interested in sort of fractures among sort of the progressive community, or the lack of there being a single progressive community, and that can come in the form of either disenfranchised groups being pitted against one another, or in the form of certain groups, and particularly I would say cis white gay men, once they've gotten to a level of progress, not sort of ceasing to fight for others.
So they're not paying you? No, that'd be weird. And they're going to be great dads.
The test came back positive for Down syndrome.
And Jasmine, for you, first of all, congratulations. You are incredible in this. I think you've got a star here. Do you realise that? Everybody I've spoken to, I was like, this woman is amazing. Big things are going to happen for her. When you take on this role, what's going on in your head? How much of a level of responsibility? And then also just enjoying this process of getting to get your teeth into a character like this.
Yeah, I mean, when you audition for something like this, when I did, a lot of things were happening. I was very excited. I was wowed that someone had written something like this. I was wowed that I got to audition to be a fully fledged Black woman with flaws and with passions, and who wasn't just somebody's friend, who wasn't just the sassy friend or the office mate or the wife or what have you, and then when I got the role, I screamed through the apartment for a good 45 minutes before I got Jeremy's email that was like, hey, let's hang out, and then I was like, oh my God, I'm so scared to hang out. What if he changes his mind? But after that, then came this incredible sense of, all right, now I have it. Now the work really begins. Now the responsibility, as you said, begins, because if you're going to tell a complicated story like this, you really have to be accountable for not only your character's humanity, but also the humanity of the communities that you are engaging with. And so I really think it's really important to advocate for the communities that are being represented in this film. I really think it's important that we give full respect and love to all of those communities. So that was like a big part of my thinking. And also like the great privilege to be a part of something like this, the great privilege to be like, yes, I am playing this Black female lead that has so many complexities. Like that in itself is a huge gift. And to be able to work with Jeremy and to be able to work with Erica Hart and to be able to work with Chris and Sullivan and everyone on that set is such a blessing that being here talking to you about it now, I feel like my blessings have just like,
Nothing feels like the right decision.
Look, I know that this is not what you planned for.
I mean, having a kid with Down syndrome, it requires a lot.
So much heart in this as well, because what's really interesting, and I have to congratulate you as a producer also and as a writer and director, because you didn't really crucify anyone. You didn't make me really hate anyone. And let me tell you something, guys, that's rare with subject matters that are pretty polarizing, right? But somehow you kind of made me think, okay, for a minute, everybody has different worries, stresses, pressures, and each person's mindset is different. And you guys, you nailed that so beautifully.
I'm thrilled to hear that. Yeah, that's what I keep wanting. I hope that others feel the same way.
Do you guys have any questions?
I guess you guys could just tell us what you wish you knew before.
Is everything okay?
I watched it and it left me self-reflective, even about things I would normally perhaps not even be thinking about. For you to take on such like a role like this, did it change you? Did it get you in your head even more? It did. How so? How?
Yeah. Well, she taught me a lot. Jess taught me a lot about myself and versions of myself, but also how I approach friendships and relationships. She taught me to not be such a people pleaser, because that's a huge part of her personality. It's a huge part of how she has coped and how she has learned to survive and to do well. And that's not too far from, me going through predominantly white institutions, like having to code switch and also behavior switch and people please in order to like be okay and to do well. So that really taught me to like stand more myself and to not let, like racism distract me from being myself. And it also really, really made me think about, what kind of person I want to be, and is being perceived as good the same thing as actually just being good.
So, well, we've been talking, and
I don't know if I'm having this child.
we can do this.
How do you see like the way the industry is shifting? Do you think it feels that way, or do you think there's an honest change happening that you really feel is going to impact on all the stories that we're all getting to see now on the screens?
I don't know. I'll say this, that I think that I think there has been a little bit of progress when it comes to cast and directors and writers. I don't see a ton of progress when it comes to production designers, editors, and cinematographers. In terms of like those are like blindingly white, like the people that are hired for those roles, and specifically I think this is a place where sometimes people can use the term person of color to kind of gloss over the fact that like specifically for Black people, there's like still an emergency in terms of like the so that's what I'd like to see more of, is not just in front of the camera, just the most prominent people behind the camera, but in all of the I mean, because those department heads, the crafts people that make films are so they have such a huge impact on what the film will be and the decisions that get made. So yeah, I'm been a little disappointed by the lack of movement in those categories in the last decade or so.
If you sacrifice your work, you will regret it.
Mom, I'm not happy there.
I want you to actually think about this choice.
Jess, it's still me. We deserve to try and have a kid who's
Perfect.
And Jasmine, for you as an actor and also as the producer, like sometimes people get involved behind the scenes because of the frustration that they're not getting the right opportunities in front of the camera always. You're in a beautiful position right now. So flipping talented. It frustrates me that I haven't seen you in more stuff. But what's your experience about the change that we're going through right now?
Yeah, I welcome the change. I like where we are thinking we're going, especially when it comes to stories that are not cis, white, straight, male stories. I'm really happy about that. I always want to see more. I always want to see more. And I especially want to see more in the stories that we tell. That means like the writing of the stories that we tell. And like Jeremy is saying, the staffing of crews and down to every role. Every role that's on a film set, especially in theater, Broadway producers, that's a whole other story. Like I would love to see the wealth be distributed equitably and equally. So when we get there, I will be an ecstatic woman. Right now, I'm happy where we're going. And I would be even more happy if we continued at a faster pace of change.
Well, guys, you both rock. Enjoy this time. The film is out July the 9th in cinemas all across the UK, which is so exciting. I can't wait to see you in more stuff. And Jeremy, enjoy London and try not to get in trouble with the football fans.
Okay, I'll try to.
Okay. Don't want you to get arrested. All right, take care, guys. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Nice meeting
Yeah,
you.
you guys too.